guys, it's Lita. I hope you're all amazing, and if you are not, I hope my video puts a smile on your beautiful faces and makes you laugh. And so for this week's video, I decided to take on a requested video from someone. I took on this request from JK Mix, and he's known as Otaku Visual Arts on Twitter. And I wanted to thank you, JK. You're right if I call you JK, right? Because I really don't know what else to call you, by the way, bro. I really don't. I decided to take on his request, and he asked what my current thoughts were of how the anime industry, or just anime in general, has changed. Now, this is something that I probably wouldn't have answered, say, 5 years ago, because I feel like back then anime was only beginning to slowly change, but this question really, I just jumped out at me like, you know what, yeah, this is gonna be what we're gonna be talking about. And I actually had to, for the past 3 or 5 days, I've been doing just a little research about this topic, because this is a huge question. Because JK asked about how in stories, in character development, or just characters in general, music, how animes change in all these different aspects, and I couldn't possibly answer all of it in one whole video. So in the end, I asked people on Twitter, fellow YouTuber and blogger friends, how they feel anime has changed over the last, I say, time bracket of 10 years. I'll be going over things that you may have already heard about, you may have not heard about. Most likely, most of the things I'll be mentioning you probably guys would have heard about, but most of what the majority of people said when they responded to my tweet, how I had felt, how anime has changed. And also wanted to emphasize, in no way this video is going to be considered an analytic video. If you enjoy that type of thing where there's a lot of video analyzing of anime and that, I will link you to a video that I really enjoyed watching earlier this week, which is called, it's an older video, but it's by Anime Everyday. And he did a video on the evolution of anime style, I think, on the style of how anime has changed. It's 20 minutes long, but if you enjoy that sort of thing, I will link it down below for you to go watch. But this is briefly my thoughts and my thoughts alone, not in combination of what others have said or responded to my tweet. So without further ado, let's get into answering how I feel the anime industry has changed. Now, in the time frame bracket I will be addressing this whole question is from the 90s anime to currently now, because I've not watched any anime from the 80s or 70s yet. Not yet. Because as I got into anime, I've repeated this over and over again. When I was 15, that's when I first really got into anime, when I moved to Australia. My friend had introduced me. That's when I really got into it, because back then I was really into, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that jazz. And just going back from that time frame of the 90s anime to how anime currently is now, it's without question that there has been a huge leap. And one thing I want to address first is the shonen genre. Now, our shonen genre consists of Bleach, Full Metal Alchemist, which I've seen, only the original though, not Brotherhood yet. Also Naruto, One Piece, all these big shows. In terms of how shonen was back then for me on the 90s, it was strong. It had a really strong running. And now, as we go into how it is now, I feel the shonen genre has slowly I feel like the shonen genre has slowly deflated, because the shonen genre is a very engaging genre, lots of powerful characters, lots of action, lots of battles. Main protagonists always end up being really
powerful, and that is one of the main things a lot of people love about the shonen genre. And probably from now, I've seen from then to now, the shonen genre has kind of fallen flat. And for me, I'll use Dragon Ball Z as an example. When they announced last year, I believe, or the year before, Toei Animation announced Dragon Ball Super. And I know this would be after the Buu saga, and I was thinking, I don't know how this is gonna work. At the time, I was really excited. I remember watching the first few episodes, and after that, I
didn't continue because I feel like with, for example, Dragon Ball Z, you can, or just in general with an anime, I'll say in shonen specifically, you can only stretch a show so far. And I feel like now how Dragon Ball Z Super is still airing now, they have really stretched it really far, and it doesn't make me want to watch it even now. You know, they brought back, I think, Frieza. I was like, what? You brought back Frieza? Bring back Frieza? Really? So you see, that's an example of something that is stretched really far, and now that's why I feel like now the shonen genre has deflated just a little, I want to say. Just a little. I mean, it still has a very, very strong standing with all the popular shows I just mentioned, Bleach and etc. You know, back with our 90s series as well, I've got a few favorites. I loved like the Vision of Escaflowne, Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing was great, and also Rurouni Kenshin. Oh yes, I've seen Fushigi Yugi as well. Can't forget Fushigi Yugi. Those three series, for example, they're a long-running series, at least more than 50 episodes. A lot of, I feel, the shows in like around the 2000 era, 90s, longer-running series, especially I'll use Rurouni Kenshin, definitely one of my favourite long-running series. This delves into also what I've noticed how anime has changed over the last decade, or how long I've been watching anime. That's freaky-ish. 10 years. 10 years I'm saying that I've been watching anime. I just had like a whoa moment then, but I feel like series are being left unfinished, and also, you know, with shows I mentioned, Fushigi Yugi and Rurouni Kenshin, you got OVAs, you got like continuations. Look, like I've still not seen the OVAs to Fushigi Yugi, and I know I really need to do that. They even got an extra sequel that I did even relating to Fushigi Yugi, which I can't remember the name of. You don't see a lot of shows now these days with added on like OVAs. Like I watched just 3 weeks ago, I watched Kokoro Connect. Kokoro Connect is only 13 episodes long, and I had no idea that there was a OVA, because the ending had me like, this is not really conclusive. There was like a romance element in there that I felt it was non-conclusive, and then I had my friend tell me that there was an OVA for Kokoro Connect, and like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that. So one series that I thoroughly enjoyed, I've been meaning to rewatch it, is called The Sacred Blacksmith, and that series never got any conclusive ending. It was a 13 episode series again, and you know, I felt there was no conclusion, and this is what I'm finding a lot even nowadays. A lot of people said this on Twitter as well, that series are becoming shorter. No, there's no really longer running series. Like, I like series at least to be 26 episodes. I don't mind watching like 13 episode animes. You know, there's something nowadays for people to quickly watch, but generally it all depends if the story can be really, really gripping, solid, the characters are solid, but sometimes it can be a hit or miss. I feel I've watched 13 episode series where they've been a complete hit or miss for me. When we're diving into series left unfinished, this is diving into the bracket of some animes need a second season because though you can ask anybody and they will probably say to you a series that they feel should get a second season. But for example, the anime Gangster that aired in summer 2015, I believe, I love that series. And unfortunately, Manglobe, the studio behind creating the series, they went bankrupt, and henceforth, Gangster never got a season 2. And also, Studio Perut, I have had an issue with for a very long time. Well, I wouldn't say very long time. Last year. I watched their very, very famous show, Yona of the Dawn. Oh, it's greatness. It's like 24 episodes long, and that there is a continuation of the story there, because how it ends, I'm just like, it's not even into the main part. Studio Perut, you need to get your ass on giving us a season 2 of Yona of the Dawn. That is what you need to do. I demand it. Yona of the Dawn was made in 2014, so that's 5, 6, 7, that's 3 years.
Then again, a lot of people had to wait 4 years for Attack on Titan Season 2, which only aired this year. And we're getting a Season 3 in 2018. I don't know if we're actually going to get a delay there, you know, we'll see about that. The series I feel are not being conclusive, and there's like no extras, a lot like OVAs. Like for this spring season that I watched, of how many extra OVAs were on the side, I saw barely none. I miss that. I miss having 13 episode series or 26 episode series having extra OVAs. It's crucial, especially if they want to conclude the anime in like a 30-minute or even 45-minute, hour-long OVA. I will be happy. I will be happy. So a main thing that I really wanted to talk about also, that is pretty obvious and you guys have probably heard about it, is how streaming anime in this day and age has become so mainstream now. Seasonal anime, every new season we are getting pumped out at least 20 or more series. Well, this is all well and good, you know, there's a lot more anime streamed directly from Japan, we're getting newer stuff, but at the same time I feel that quality is being overlooked and it's all about the quantity. Every single season, I used to think it was great in the beginning that we were getting a lot more anime, but some people feel that solid stories aren't being made, that, you know, anime is just being thrown out there left and right, basically. And I agree with that statement, that I do find that with some of the seasonal anime. To an extent, I found that also some people don't want to buy physical copies of anime anymore, but I feel you can't always rely on streaming anime alone. Even though I'm subscribed to a couple of streaming services, Crunchyroll and Anime Lab, I'm a collector at heart, so I will still always love to buy physical copies, and it's always kind of down to us to request those limited editions, those box sets that we all want. If there is a series that I've not seen, I have seen plenty now, that has made me actually want to go buy it, because it is kind of good in that way, watching something, streaming it online and then going to want to buy it. I have done that. So everything comes with the good and bad. I want to say at least one good thing that has made, as we all know, Crunchyroll is one of the biggest anime chains in the whole of the anime world. And last year, I think it was even September, it was announced that they were going to do a partnership with Funimation, which Funimation are mostly known for their English dubs and all that. I only know so much about the American side of anime, because anime in America there is so much more of a broader aspect out there, or it's so much more bigger in that part of the West than it is, say, here in little Australia. There has been like some older titles that have been added to Crunchyroll, but probably a lot of people in the US and all that are able to see all these shows have been added. For example, Gundam Seed and Gundam Destiny have been added on there. There is still, you know, people like me where I live in Australia, that there are country limitations, there are country restrictions, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, one of the other great things that was announced was that Funimation was allowing people from Australia and New Zealand to watch anime on their library, which I was so over the moon about. When I had a look through, there was like a limited amount of anime to watch. There wasn't too much. There's at least more than 50 series or more that I could watch that I have never seen, that I've always wanted to, like Yu Yu Hakusho. I can watch that now on Funimation. It's like, it's great. It's great, seriously. So that was a really big thing that I never thought would happen, that Funimation would allow like people from Australia and New Zealand to watch their anime on their website. And I think that is one of the good things that has happened since anime has changed. So you have to remember, with how anime has changed, I feel that the good sort of comes with the bad, and I don't think all like streaming anime is always going to be the norm. There is always going to be the need for all these home releases, especially for us collectors. I feel like I would go stir crazy if they were not distributing anime on home release anymore. I mean, I do have to say that here where I am, Mad Men has really stepped up their game, and all these new releases we're getting, like, I never thought they would get Snow White with the red hair. Now the whole series is out. Though with the streaming thing, I feel that is going to also change as most recently, in fact I think this week or the last week, Anime Strike has managed to pick up some of the really popular titles from the summer season. I know it's like Welcome to the Ballroom, Toko Rambu. A lot of people are not happy about that because with Anime Strike, they're a very, very new streaming service, I think, that came out this year or just the end of last year, I believe they made their debut, where you have to have a Amazon Prime account and then you have to pay to also for Amazon Strike, and yeah, not a lot of people are happy about that. It does suck that Crunchyroll is not getting some of the really, really popular titles. And yeah, that kind of scares me just a little bit, it does. Also, another thing I wanted to mention was another new streaming service that has just arisen in the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. It's called High Live. I found out about this through a fellow blogger friend's post, which I'm going to link down below so you guys can go read about it. But they're putting a lot of older series on there, even 90s anime. I've looked at some of the lists and I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of favorite titles on here. So they're adding a lot of anime OVAs on there as well, which is so good. That's what my friend was really happy about. If you did not know about this new streaming service, well, now you do. And you should go, like I said, check out the link down below. I think this site sounds cool, honestly. How often anime is getting announced, like how often a manga is getting a anime adaptation. That is so much more on the reoccurrence, especially with light novels. Light novels, again, anime adaptations. Every time I look through my Twitter, honestly, every day, nearly every day, no, every day, you guys know I'm a Twitter junkie, always on Anime News Network, I'm solely always looking on there. And there's always some new anime announcement there is. And that's really on the more reoccurrence than I would say than 5 years ago. Just nearly every day there's always a new anime announcement. One thing I feel also with anime is that, or people feel in general, there's repetitiveness, as I mentioned before. Like in seasonal anime, there is always like the same show. One example I will use is from the summer 2015 season. I believe this is well known now, but Asterisk War and Chivalry Failed of a Night. Those two shows were very, very similar from the romance fantasy genre and nearly exactly the same. Two main couples fall in love. It's a magic academy they attend. They have powers that represent a part of their soul or a part of themselves. It was very, very similar, those two were. And those series I've talked about in a post before, that they were overlooked, they were, and that just kind of puts off people. It does if two shows of the same thing. I saw that in this spring 2017 season. Two magical shows, Magic Academy shows, were the same thing, and again, I didn't feel the want or wantingness to watch them, honestly. And this makes me go into also for this spring season, my favourite series actually was As the Moon So Beautiful. It's by Studio Fields and it's an original work. You don't see a lot of original anime stories, honestly, or like original animes. It is so rare, and this was very rare that I saw this. And the story is about two junior middle schoolers who end up falling in love, and it has been such a great show. Oh, I'm telling you right now, if you've not watched it this season, you need to. The last episode comes out this week, and it's been such a joy to watch. And the hype it's been getting now, because in the beginning nobody was bothered about it, nobody was talking about it, and now they are. And I did actually make a video talking about this show, which you guys can go check out if you want. I'll probably link it down below. Studio Fields has my full attention now. If anything else comes out by them guys, definitely keeping a lookout. Another thing that has changed over the last few years, which is a good thing though, has been on the more reoccurrence since from last year. I'd say in this year that anime is appearing more in movie theatres. Like this, currently at the moment, the Evangelion uncut director movies, all 3 Evangelion movies, the 3 new ones, not the 1995 ones, they're going to be playing here in Australia next month. They are, the director cut ones, the special ones that no one's ever seen. The Sword Art Online English dub scale art one is being featured right now in cinema. that is a huge thing, and I was like so happy when I went to see A Silent Voice in cinema back in April. I'd never thought they would actually come here, or Madman would bring it here, and that's been great. Also, there was Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was in cinemas, which I didn't see because I've not kept up with Fairy Tail. Pretty good introduction for, I'd say, for those people that don't even know about the genre, non-anime people I'll call them. And, you know, anime, I want to say, is becoming, like, more mainstream. It is. People are kind of becoming more aware of it. Please don't stop bringing anime to our cinemas. Please don't, because this has been such a good thing. A really, really good thing. And I think a lot of people would agree about that. Also, I will finish on the note of also to do with how anime has changed over the last few years is licensing anime. I remember when the license was lost for Funimation, they lost Birdie the Almighty Decode, and then they lost Full Metal Alchemist, but I know Crunchyroll picked that back up and it's on Crunchyroll right now. But anime licensing is a whole different other scope that I only have so much of a clue about. That's why I feel it's so important to buy physical copies of anime still, because I'll never know with older series if they'll go out of print, or there's quite a few that are out of print, but that's all the fun being a collector of sorts that I am. But yeah, anime licensing is becoming, I feel, a reoccurring thing as well. That, you know, you never know, like the next day your favourite series, the anime license will be lost for it. You won't be able to stream it online, or it won't be distributed anymore. So that's why I feel that buying anime is still so important, still in this day and age. I actually did make a video expressing my thoughts on anime licenses expiring, which you guys can go watch. It's not too much of an old video. I think I made it like sometime last year. Yeah, it was sometime last year. So all in all, to conclude this video, anime has really changed over the last decade. We are getting more, you know, streaming wise, becoming the norm. Anime licensing is kind of scaring me. It just makes me wonder how it will be for the future, honestly. What I have covered in this video has been very, very brief, honestly. There is so much more you could go into detail about. I've really only scraped the surface, but it's pretty much on how I feel anime has changed. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop collecting it. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop watching it. Everything comes with the good and bad. Anime, I feel, is never going to die. The anime industry, whoever says that the anime industry is going to die, there's videos like the anime industry is going to die where they express their thoughts on the, you know, animators or people who are part of the studios that they are don't get paid a lot. The supply of wages for animators and that is really low. That's a known fact that I've watched in other videos and things I've read. It's not like it's not a known thing. And just for those videos that say the anime industry is going to die, I think there's a whole bunch of poppycock. I don't feel the anime industry is gonna die, really is not. I feel it is bigger than it has been ever than before, but you know, it has its like flaws. It does have its flaws, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to stop loving this genre altogether, this medium altogether, like flat out stop. I would go crazy probably. So guys, in the comments down below, please let me know how you feel anime has changed since the time bracket of the 90s anime, we'll say. You can go back to the 80s or 70s if you have watched shows from that time era, and how you feel anime has changed. Anything I've discussed about the streaming of anime licensing, animes getting cut short, getting no OVAs, give me Yona of the Dawn Season 2. I would really love to know your thoughts. And I want to thank JK Mix for requesting this video. I really enjoyed talking about this, and hopefully maybe I will actually do a blog post talking about this as well. I've been wanting to, I have. And as always guys, don't forget to subscribe for more craziness. And if you want to keep up with my anime antics, you can follow me on my blog, Alita Kine Anime Corner. And you can follow me on Twitter, Kino Reviews, where I am all the time. That is all for now. I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. I have no idea what it'll be, but it'll be something amazing. And I will see you then. Bye!